Welcome to EQBloom, where we break down the science that helps you build yourself up. Today's topic might sound like it belongs in a spy thriller, secret weapons, precision targeting, and long-term memory. But we're not talking about human intelligence agencies. We're talking about your immune system. Specifically, a class of molecules so elegant, so adaptive, and so powerful, they have revolutionized both biology and medicine. These are antibodies, Y-shaped proteins made by your body that know exactly who the enemies are and how to tag them for destruction. They are not just defenders, but intelligent scouts, memory keepers, and first responders that can either protect you or, if misfired, cause serious disease. So how do antibodies work? What makes them so specific, so fast, and so crucial? And how are scientists using them to treat cancer, fight viruses like COVID-19, and design vaccines? Let's dive into the microscopic battlefield inside you. At the molecular level, antibodies are Y-shaped proteins produced by a type of white blood cell called a B lymphocyte or B cell. Now let's break down the anatomy of these fascinating molecules. Each antibody has two major regions. The variable region at the tips of the Y, this is what binds to an antigen, a foreign molecule. The constant region at the base, this determines the class of the antibody and how it interacts with the rest of the immune system. Think of the variable region like a lock that's shaped to fit exactly one key, an antigen. It might recognize a spike protein on a virus or a bacterial toxin. Each B cell makes a different antibody, allowing your immune system to recognize billions of possible invaders. There are also 5 major antibody classes or isotopes. The first one is IgG, the most abundant, circulating in the blood and tissues. The next one is IgA, found in mucosal areas like your nose, lungs, and gut. IgM, the first responder in initial infection. IgE, involved in allergic reactions. IgD, which is still a little bit mysterious, but involved in B-cell activation. Antibodies are one of the most specific tools your body has ever evolved, and their precision is what makes them so powerful. So what exactly do antibodies do once they find a target? It starts with recognition. A virus enters your body and shows a foreign protein, an antigen, on its surface. If an antibody with the matching variable region is circulating, it binds to that antigen with high specificity. Once binding occurs, a few things can happen. Neutralization. The antibody blocks the virus from entering your cells like jamming a key before it reaches a lock. Opsonization. This means to make tasty. The antibody essentially coats the invader, making it easier for phagocytes like macrophages to find and digest it. Recruitment of the complement system. This triggers a cascade of proteins that punch holes in the invader's membrane. It's like biological C4. Agglutination. Antibodies can clump pathogens together, making them easier to eliminate. All of this happens so fast. Once an antibody locks onto its target, it's like a fighting flare. The rest of the immune system zeroes in on that invader and takes it out. This system of rapid targeted defense is what gives antibodies their nickname, precision-guided missiles of the immune function. Now, where do antibodies come from? Let's zoom in on a key player, the B cell. When a naive B cell, one that hasn't encountered an antigen, meets its match, it activates and clones itself, creating 2 types of cells. Number 1, plasma cells, which are antibody factories, pumping out thousands of antibodies per second. Number 2, memory B cells, which don't produce antibodies immediately, but stick around, sometimes for decades. Why is this important? Because the next time that the same invader appears, those memory B cells bring into action much faster than the first time. This is called the secondary immune response. And it's faster, stronger, and more efficient than the initial one. This process is the foundation of vaccination. By training your immune system with harmless form of the invader, you build memory without having to suffer the disease itself. Memory B cells are your body's living immune encyclopedia, ready to recall old battles and respond faster than ever. The natural function of antibodies has been so powerful that scientists have harnessed their abilities for medical use. Let's start with vaccines. Vaccines introduce a harmless version of the pathogen, often just a protein or RNA, prompting your immune system to build memory without infection. The result? You develop antibodies and memory B cells before you ever encounter the real threat. Now let's go one step further. What if we could design antibodies ourselves? That's the idea behind monoclonal antibodies. These are lab-created antibodies engineered to bind to a specific target, such as the HER2 receptor in breast cancer, the spike protein in SARS-CoV-2, the immune checkpoints in autoimmune diseases. These therapies are being used to fight cancer by tagging tumors for immune destruction, treat autoimmune conditions like arthritis, prevent and treat infectious diseases like COVID-19. In essence, monoclonal antibodies are synthetic precision weapons built by scientists, modeled after nature. But as with any weapon, precision matters, and antibodies can misfire. Sometimes the immune system makes autoantibodies, which mistakenly target your own cells. This is the root of autoimmune diseases like type 1 diabetes, lupus, arthritis. In other cases, antibodies respond too strongly to harmless stimuli. This is the case in allergies, when an otherwise safe substance like pollen or peanut triggers an IgE response, causing inflammation, swelling, and even anaphylaxis. And in immunodeficiency disorders, antibody production may be insufficient or absent, leaving the body vulnerable to infection. The immune system is a balancing act. Too little antibody response and you get infections. Too much and you get damage. The goal is harmony, defense without destruction. So let's take a moment to reflect. Every moment of every day, your body is under siege by viruses, bacteria, and even rogue cells from within. And yet you survive. Why? Because you have a microscopic defense system that doesn't just fight back, it remembers. Antibodies are one of nature's greatest evolutionary inventions. They are your body's way of keeping a record of the enemies you've met and preparing for the ones you haven't. They're tiny, but they're brilliant. They recognize, remember, and rally, and through them you're alive today. So the next time you get a vaccine or fight off a cold or hear the word antibody in the news, know this, it's not just a buzzword, it's a story of survival, strategy, and scientific marvel. Subscribe to EQBloom for more content that helps you understand the science inside you and how to use it to grow stronger, smarter, and healthier. Because your body isn't just surviving, it's learning.